gonna get a half sheet. They're gonna mark off everything you've done. Then you're gonna turn it into us so we can get you to the Sow House.
My perspective would be one who has been incarcerated. From 1995 to 2005, I was incarcerated for committing a violent offense. When you have a judge tell you that you're going to spend 5 years behind bars, there's a numbness you feel, even though I had certainly recognized I had committed a crime and needed to be punished. Inside, I wanted to know, how did I get here? I basically, I felt that at that time, a 30-year-old man with children shouldn't be in the situation that I found myself in. So upon entering the Illinois Department of Corrections, I kind of had a mindset that I need to learn how I got here. Why my life had turned this way or went in this direction. So when I first came in, the first thing, education was my focus. One, to improve myself. Two, because in the state of Illinois, if you receive an education, if you meet a certain criteria, an education can reduce your sentence. So that was a second motivating factor for me. So right from the start, I jumped right into education. You're in an environment of strangers that can be very dangerous. And education is a way out.
For our program, they have to have completed already the AA degree, the associate's degree that is offered by Lakeland Community College. Now, Lakeland Community College offers basic classes that include a lot of vocational classes, things in like custodianship, how to be a good building custodian. It's not exactly flying high, it's really about aiming low, and it's probably realistic for a lot of the guys in that program. The people who go into our program are the ones who have graduated from that and have qualified. They have to have passed those classes, and they've really worked for it to get to the point where they can qualify to take a U of I class.
Before I left, they had reduced the number of personal property items an inmate could have, which actually was kind of a good thing because if you had some inmates can amass quite a bit of property. If you're serving 30 years, 25 years, you can gain a lot of property. So when they instituted the personal property policy, they issued two like personal property boxes. One maybe as wide as this table, long as this table, for clothing, all that kind of stuff, and then a shorter box, which was for books. And I used to get really creative. I had wonderful support from my family, friends here in the community who often mailed me books, magazines, newspapers. A lot of that also is available.
I actually would find books on campus, make photocopies of articles that I thought they needed in order to write a research paper for me on the Alhambra or the Great Mosque of Cordoba or whatever they're writing about, and I would bring it in and create kind of mini faux libraries for them that they could then tool around in and find their materials. So it's a creative experience. I believe in economic arguments just because they tend to be the simplest and any fool can understand them. And to understand that educating a person costs $10,000 and housing an adult prisoner costs $21,000 is reason enough. It's like we don't even need to go into the other principles for why we should do this. It's reason enough for that reason. And also the success rate of these education and prison programs is extraordinary. The way it lowers recidivism. You know, it's not only about recidivism. It's not only about what happens when people get out of prison and keeping them out of prison. When you have education in prison programs, the degree of violence within the prison drops significantly. So that's a cost saving. It also makes the place safer for those people who have to be there because they themselves feel threatened by the level of danger.
Places that, I don't know, it seemed like there's a competing idea about prisoners being educated. You know, prisons can, you know, you see a depiction of prisoners in prisons as being dangerous, violent, which in some respects they are, where, you know, very bad things happen. And then you have like this country club depiction where inmates are given steak and lobsters, sleeping on king-size bunks or something, you know, and or we're getting too much. When whether it comes to medical treatment or even the educational programs, because there's a sense out there that we shouldn't be doing nothing but sitting in cells, you know, looking at one another, and it's true. You know, you're in a 6 by 12 space with another individual that comes from who knows what kind of background, especially with men, we territorial anyway. So in this kind of space, if there's no outlet, violence will happen. It's just part of it. Education is critical. The recidivism rates prove it. The more prisoners are educated, the less they're going to commit crimes.
I would say that of my class of 15, I have 2 who are struggling very, very hard, who are barely capable of keeping up. And the other 13 are equal to, or in some cases, surpass the very best undergraduates that I have encountered here at the U of I, which tells us something about the intellectual capital that is squandered when lives go in the wrong direction and they end up in prison instead of a place like U of I. I mean, some of these guys, if their lives had been different, they could have been here. They could have survived and flourished in a system like this.